Alright, guys, what is up? I am here live finally. I'm gonna go mute myself on my own stream. But what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be streaming for you guys, talking about pretty much just anything football really related myself, because I've always loved football since I was younger. Since I was, I'd say like 5 or 6. I watched my team right back there, the Steelers. I also have had the Steelers. I'm also wearing the Steelers shirt. Pretty much, just for the spirit of this podcast / talk show. I get this back on my hair. Now, I am going to be talking about another company that does have to do with football, but that's not going to be till the end. So just in case you guys are going to get confused, I just want to announce that right now. I will be looking at chat occasionally. Like if somebody types in chat, I'll see what's up. So I'm gonna be interactive. That's definitely gonna be a promise. And anywho, guys, I think I'm gonna start getting into it. I'm just gonna look through my snap and do whatever. Because I also I would like to explain myself a little bit more. I'm sorry about that. You guys are really just trying to get the football information, but I just want to explain myself a little bit more. This hat looks fucking horrible on me. Holy shit. Now fuck the hat. I was always into football ever since I was younger, and I'm just football. I'm a huge sports fan. I don't think it was till last year, the year before, where I started getting an idea where I wanted to be like a sports analyst, like Stephen A. Smith. I don't want to be like Skip Bayless, but I'm using him as an example. Skip Bayless and pretty much just those guys, primarily. And I've always loved sports, especially football. Football has always been my favorite sport. Now, I am a good fan of basketball, and alright fan of baseball, and alright fan of hockey. But when it comes to football, I hear football being talked about from 3 rooms down. I'm going to probably go down 3 rooms down and start joining in the conversation. That's how huge I've always loved football. Now, my opinions on it has never really changed. I've always been a fan of the team I wanted to be, which is the Steelers. And, I've always been a huge fan of the Steelers since I was younger. And I feel like they're a proper team, to be honest. But primarily at the moment, I'm still a fan of the Steelers because I'm not a bandwagoner. But primarily at the moment, especially where the Super Bowl is being laid out, it's gonna be interesting to talk about. But enough about myself. If there's anybody in the chat and you guys have anything to comment at any time, I will talk about it. I have quite a bit to talk about today. Each topic should probably take me about 5-10 minutes, roughly. So, grab your popcorns, sit down, relax. It's going to be a long episode. First talk we have about is the Super Bowl. The Eagles won last week 38-7 against the Vikings. And the Patriots with a shocking comeback, won 24-20 against the Jaguars. I honestly predicted Jags and Vikings. Both teams I predicted lost, But Eagles and Patriots going to be interesting because Foles led the team to the Super Bowl, which is very, very shocking because Carson Wentz was amazing quarterback. I mean, he might even still get MVP. Who knows? But I don't know how everything's just going to play out. I feel like personally, Carson Wentz is still the better quarterback, but if Nick Foles can do it, that would be great. I personally have the odd feeling that the Patriots are just going to take this year's Super Bowl. I hate the Patriots with a burning passion. I'm not going to lie. And I'm very biased against 95% of the time against the Patriots. I want I almost said Vikings shit. I want the Eagles to win. The chances of that are very slim. Now, how I think the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, they're not going to cheat like everyone says. Yes, do they cheat before? Have they? Yes. They used the whole deflate thing, the spying shit, but I don't think they're going to cheat. I think it's going to be a fair game. I think this is going to be, honestly, I hate saying this. I really hate saying this. I think the Patriots are just going to win via blowout. I think the score is going to be 31-10 final score. Patriots destroy the Eagles in the Super Bowl. The ups and downs of each team going into the Super Bowl. The ups of the Patriots is they still have a strong offense. I know they're missing a couple players, which that has come to some of their downs, but I will get into that in a second. And the ups of the Eagles is mainly their offense is all right, but their defense is stacked. They have Ronald Darby, Lance Johnson. They're pretty much just the underdogs defense. The ups of the downs of the Patriots are pretty much their offense is slowly rising down. But they still do have a good offense. They're missing Gronk, they're missing Edelman, but they still have Martellus Bennett as backup tight end. I think they're using Chris Hogan as well. Chris Hogan's pretty good. If not, they're using Kenny Britt. He's all right. They still do need a running back. Even though Deion Lewis is great, but I still feel like they need a better running back. And the downs of the Eagles quarterback situation. I know Foles is still an underdog guy. I know he's a really good quarterback, but I still feel like he just can't get the job done when it comes against the Patriots. Now, I mean, he got the job done against a strong-ass Vikings team and a strong-ass Falcons team, but they're not the same as a strong-ass Patriots team. I know Patriots are definitely going to be missing a couple players this year, but one of their other ups is James Harrison. I'm still upset about that because I'm a Steelers fan. But James Harrison personally is a god when it comes to that team, especially if he would have played for the Steelers a little bit longer. He would have been kicking ass with the Steelers. Now, that's my honest opinion about the Super Bowl. I have the feeling the Patriots are just going to win. It's going to be number 6. They're going to be tied up with the Steelers. I'm not going to like that. I'm not even going to lie with you guys because that's going to annoy the living hell out of me. I don't personally just myself don't like the Patriots. Now, I'm not going to shit talk the Patriots because am I going to be really honest right now? Which I am. Patriots are just one of the greatest teams in football. Not of this generation. I mean, yes, of this generation, but exactly of all time. I hate the Patriots so much. Remember that. Quote me on that. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like the shady shit they've done. But at the end of the day, I'm still a very, very honest person when it comes to football. And the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. And they're going to win. And they're going to grab their 6th title. Tie up with the Steelers. Who knows who's going to get 7 more? It seems like the Patriots at this point, but, I mean, Steelers did sign a new offensive coordinator. So that might be better for the Pittsburgh Steelers themselves. But the Patriots, I know they got rid of their 2 coordinators pretty much, but, yeah. I don't think that really matters too much because I still have an odd feeling that they're still going to be pretty good this season, or in the next season, rather. Now, enough of the Super Bowl talk. Let's talk about some individual players. First player I would like to talk about personally is Jarvis Landry. Miami Dolphins wide receiver, pretty much the star guy of the team. He played in LSU with Odell Beckham Jr. He is a really good receiver. He destroys every time he goes onto the field. Even if he has fucking Jay Cutler or Matt Moore or Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball, he still manages to get the job done at the end of the day. And he's still one of the greatest receivers in the league. Now, he's saying, who knows, because Le'Veon Bell's been saying this too. Now we'll get to Le'Veon Bell in this next. I'm going to lie. But he's been saying personally that he thinks he does not want to play for Miami anymore. Miami is still, they have the potential, but with Tannehill out the whole season, them flipping between Jay Cutler and Matt Moore, what are they really going to accomplish? I mean, their defense is all right. Their team's all right. They just need a quarterback situation. So for Jarvis Landry, for himself to go and say, I just don't want to play for Miami because we're not doing good, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, if I was playing for Cleveland, I would want to leave instantly. I'm like, I don't want to play for this team. This team has gotten through so much shit. Everyone thought Deshaun Kaiser was going to be the savior. He wasn't shit. They put on Kevin Hogan. He wasn't shit. So fucking now they're going to have to draft like Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, or just anybody like that from the draft just to save their team. And I understand where Jarvis Landry's come from, how his team isn't that good. His team last year was 10-6. They won 6-10 this year. So basically they just flipped around the records. They still managed to get the Patriots knocked down on their ass, but still. But Jarvis Landry, if he is going to leave Miami, which I don't want him to personally, I feel like he's best on Miami. But if he is going to leave Miami, I've heard talks that he's going to go to the Chicago Bears. Now, I don't know why that would ever happen. Because if he does, like, if I'm playing for the Browns and I don't want to play and I don't want to be on a shitty team and I know that I have the potential to rise up on a good team, I'm not going to go over to a team that's just slightly a little bit better, which in that case, he's not. For the Browns, yeah, it's slightly a little bit better, but in the Dolphins, he's downgrading. Now, who knows? I mean, the Bears can be 16-0 next season, shock us all, win the Super Bowl. Bada bing, bada boom. Bears are in the room. They won the Super Bowl right there. But I don't think that's going to happen. But if Jarvis Landry is really trying to go to the Bears, I don't know what the point of trying to leave Miami is, because he'd be better off in Miami. He would have better records. He would have better payment. But yeah, that's how I feel. But more about Jarvis Landry is, if he does leave Miami, where do I personally believe he's going to end up? And to be pure out honest with you guys, if he will leave the Miami Dolphins, the team I personally believe he will end up on, not the Steelers, because the Steelers have stacked wide receivers, Patriots. Now, listen to me here. He's looking for a better team. Patriots are an amazing team. Patriots, they're sneaky. They want those players. They want those good players. When they hear that there's an all-star, there's a Pro Bowler out on the free agency market, they're going to snatch them up real fast. Not maybe quarterback, but they hear there's a wide receiver or a good running back out in the market. Patriots are just going to, they're going to grab Jarvis Landry. Fucking Jarvis Landry, I personally believe, if he will leave Miami, he'll go to New England. And I believe he'll be really good in New England, just like how he was in Miami. But he's probably going to get less playing time, more payment, all that fun shit. Next thing I want to talk about is the Le'Veon Bell situation. Le'Veon Bell, at the moment, he may or may not be going off the franchise tag for the Steelers, but he said he does want to make an arrangement with Pittsburgh. He wants to go somewhere with Pittsburgh. He wants to continue playing. And like I said, me as a diehard Steelers fan, I do want Le'Veon to stay. I had a lot of strong opinions about him early on in the season. I didn't like him. I wanted James Conner to start, which I feel like James Conner would do pretty all right, too, for the Pittsburgh running back situation. But Le'Veon Bell, I feel like is a better running back for Pittsburgh Steelers. And I feel like he would do pretty goddamn well for the Steelers still. But if he does go anywhere else, I don't know where else he would go. I mean, there's plenty enough options. But I'm begging that sorry. But I'm begging he stays with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because we need that running situation. We need a master running situation. Next, I'm sorry that was a little fast, but I want to get on to the next topic because this one's really interesting. Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins. You guys might be asking, Herby, Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins, they're two different quarterbacks. One's in the AFC, one's in the NFC. One plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, one plays for the Washington Redskins. What's so important about these two quarterbacks? Alex Smith personally does not want to play for the Kansas City Chiefs anymore, as we've been told. Kirk Cousins, it's obvious he does not want to play for the Redskins. If I was him, I wouldn't want to play for the Redskins either. A lot of speculation saying that Bortles, yes, he is a good quarterback, or at least that's this season. But Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins are being speculated to go to Jacksonville to be their brand new quarterback. Let that sink in for a second. Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins. One of those two is who's speculated to be the new Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. My honest opinion on that is Kirk Cousins, I feel like you should go to Cleveland. And Alex Smith, I feel like you should definitely go to Jacksonville or stay back in Kansas City because you're picking up lots of success. I know your team chokes up a bit. That's kind of like the Chiefs' new motto. You have Andy Reid on your team. Of course, you're going to choke up tight, slightly, but I mean, you're gonna have to overcome Andy Reid's coaching style and learn to not choke up, But I feel like if Alex Smith does go, either Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins, either quarterback goes to Jacksonville, Jacksonville's going to be about as good as they were this year, if not even better. Now, where would Blake Bortles be placed on? Blake Bortles, he'd probably be placed as a backup because he's still a pretty good quarterback. And he played pretty good this season. So for him to be a backup would be pretty good. And I would like to see him play. Now, next, we are talking about the Cardinals' new coaching lineup. Now they got a new head coach not that long ago. I think he was a defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. His name was Steve Wilkes. He did a lot of good work because, Carolina has a booming defense. And for him to be a head coach, I would like to see what goes on with that. Former San Diego, what's the guy's name? San Diego head coach Mike McCoy is the new offensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are going to be good. If he was horrible with Denver, but who knows? Maybe he can do pretty good. The defensive coordinator is Al Holcomb. He's pretty new to the scene, so I can't really start off with a judgment right away of him. But he's pretty decent. That guy, he's pretty decent as it can seem, but he's new to the scene. And last but not least, the special teams coach Jeff Rogers. He's been doing coaching and shit for 14 years. He coached a lot of special teams. I think he did the Broncos, Panthers, and Giants not too long ago. And he also did the Bears. He did the Bears as well. And he did a lot of good work, but maybe I think he can potentially I think he can pull out pretty good for the team. Now, overall, with all their coaching staff, I believe personally they should do pretty good. With Bruce Arians retiring, is not going to be that fun for them, because Bruce Arians was a really good coach, and he retired. He was done. He did a lot of work in the NFL overall. How I think Steve Wilkes can pick up where Arians left off, but not even just do that, but do even better than Arians did. I know Cardinals the last couple of years have not been doing too good, but they're still a powerhouse team. Like, everyone completely forgot about David Johnson because he got injured, but he was still very good. He's still a very good running back. Now, like I said, I think with this coaching staff, I have an odd feeling the Cardinals can pull out pretty good, and they can have a pretty good team. Next, we're going to talk about the New York Giants. Since I live in this metropolis, I can't even pronounce it, but the metro area, and everybody down here, or up here rather, is all Giants fans. I'm going to talk about your guys' favorite team, the Giants. Eli Manning is still, as of right now, the quarterback, but as I was being told, David Gettleman, which is the new general manager, wants the Giants to personally get a brand new quarterback, and not just a brand new quarterback like off the free agency market. They want a freshly drafted, brand new man as a quarterback. Eli, well, he already spoke out on it. He's not the happiest about it. He wants to be the starting quarterback. He's 37 years old. He has 2-3 years left in his career. When you got people like Josh Rosen and Baker Mayfield, or anybody personally who just entered the draft, who's only like 22, 23, and has like 15, 20 years left of their career, and they can spend their whole career in the Giants and do really good. Younger talent, has younger bones and younger muscles, so they're gonna play a lot better. He does not want that to happen, but he still wants to play for the Giants as it is. But if he does go anywhere, another speculation for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he may or may not be going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a pretty big speculation because, Coughlin's down there, and Manning and Coughlin play together. You know how that usually goes. The Patriots lose the Super Bowl. But, that huge toss-up between Manning, Cousins, and Smith, I don't know who would rather. I'd rather honestly pick out Cousins because he's the youngest guy that they can pick out. Because you guys don't know, Alex Smith is like 35. What's the guy's name? Eli Manning, he's 37. Cousins, I think he's like 28, 29. So I'd rather pick the younger talent. And the Giants recently hired a brand new head coach named Pat Schumer. He used to be the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. And, they fired him off. And he actually has a pretty good reputation as it is right now for the Giants. He was the defensive coordinator for the Browns, or was he a head coach? He's one of those two. And he didn't do as well as everyone expected, but maybe as a head coach for the New York Giants, he can do pretty well. Now, this isn't going to be too long of a topic, so don't worry about it. The Chicago Bears' successful season. Can the Chicago Bears have a successful season this year? My honest opinion and my honest answer is yes. They do have Mitchell Trubisky. He isn't that good, I'm not even going to lie. But they could pick up somebody, either A from the draft or B from the free agency market. Because the draft is always a risky situation. It's like, he can be really good, this guy. or he can be really bad. He could have been extremely good in college, and he'll be a draft bust now. Like Jamarcus Russell, or what's that guy's name? Ryan Leaf, especially. Huge draft bust. Huge. But, yeah, I mean, the Bears can definitely pick up some talent via free agency or draft. And they do have an all right team. They have Kevin White. They have Marcus Wheaton. They have Jordan Howard, Tara Cohen. Their defense is all right. They need to bulk up on the defense a little bit more. But I feel like if they can do all that work, they can be they can have a very successful season. Now, next topic, Victor Cruz, that salsa man. Is he done with his career? I'm going to say, honestly, yes. He, last year, sometimes signed the Chicago Bears. He was supposed to be one of their good receivers as well. He was all right with the Giants. I'm not going to say he was an all-star. He was a Pro Bowler. No, he was decent. He was all right. But as of this season, I don't think he has a home to go to. The amount of injuries he keeps on getting, it's not going to be too good. If I was Victor Cruz, I would talk to the towel, say goodnight to the NFL, go on to being a sports analyst, and bada boom, we are right there being analysts now instead of playing football. Now, Victor Cruz, I honestly have the feeling that he's going to be pretty good as an analyst because, he was a decent player. And I feel like everything's going to go pretty well, honestly, in my eyes, for Victor Cruz as an analyst. Even if he was just even if he was still playing, I feel like he would be semi-decent, but I wouldn't want to be injury-prone that much. So, honestly, to be honest, that's where I would just throw the towel and say goodnight. I'm going over to a different team. Or not to a different team. I'm going over to a different side of sports, which is just analyzing them. Now, we are here to talk about the final topic of the day or the afternoon. If anybody is in the chat, just leave a comment. Tell me what's up. If you want anything to be answered right now, here's your chance. And I will answer stuff after this topic, but this topic can go on for 10 minutes roughly. I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible, but I'm trying to keep it as informational as possible. XFL. If you guys do not know what the XFL is, it has to do with, it is football ran by the chairman of the World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon. XFL launched in 2001 because they wanted competition against the NFL since the NFL was extremely getting picked up then. Everybody was caring about the NFL. That was the biggest thing. And WWE themselves wanted some ratings for football. Now, it is 100% real football. Yes, the WWE is fixed up and scripted, but the XFL is not. It's real football. It's no bullshit. And it's going to be pretty cool because it relaunches in 2020, said Vince McMahon himself. Now, for the XFL in 2001, I don't remember all the teams. I don't remember actually any of the teams, to be honest with you. I completely forgot all of them. But I have the feeling that 2020 is going to have better ratings than the 2001 edition. 2001, they didn't have shitty ratings, but they didn't have the ratings enough to continue for a 2002 XFL season premiere. Instead, now, a lot of people have been asking, I think, since last year, bring back the XFL. This NFL shit's bullshit. People aren't standing for the national anthem. They're still disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. Like all that shit. And I think Vince McMahon, the chairman of the World Wrestling Entertainment, finally got it into his head that the XFL needs to get a quick return. But he can't just come back and be like, all right, guys, tomorrow the XFL will be back. No. He has to remake teams. He has to remake teams, get the okay from the stadiums, get the players again. One of the huge speculative players to join the XFL is going to be Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel, if you guys don't know who he is, a former Cleveland Browns quarterback. He was iffy. He was decent, but he fucked his whole career up by drinking and doing cocaine and beating the shit out of women. So that kind of just fucked his whole career over upside down. And XFL is trying not to hide people with criminal backgrounds, but they might do it. Since Johnny Manziel, I believe personally he's cleaned up himself. And I would like to see Johnny Manziel personally return to the XFL because he's an all right quarterback, and he deserves more than just, oh shit, you can't play football anymore because you did this. Like, come on, Michael Vick abused dogs and shit. People done so much shit, and they still bring him back into the NFL. So the XFL, I think, if that is true, I think Johnny Manziel should get a chance. And other quarterbacks, like straight out of college, if they're not trying to go to the NFL, they can go to the XFL. They should get an option. And if Johnny Manziel doesn't go to the XFL, he's probably going to go to the Canadian Football League, which I don't really talk about much. I don't know too much about it, but if I do get big news on it, you best believe I'm going to be covering that up. But for the XFL, I really feel like it's going to take off in 2020. Everyone's talking about it in school where I go, and it's going to be pretty interesting to hear about the XFL because I like the NFL dearly a lot, even if, like, I have sometimes, I'm not going to lie with you guys, I have an odd feeling sometimes it has a little bit more fixing to it than usual. Like, it's scripted a little bit. But XFL, I know WWE is meant to be scripted, but they're trying to release non-scripted football, a 10-week season with 8 teams. So it's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. We don't have too much news coverage on the XFL. So next Saturday, when I'm back at 12:30 next Saturday, I will be covering the XFL a little bit more if we do get more news coverage, and I'll be covering as much as we can. I might even do this show on Monday right after the Super Bowl, or I might just do a pre-bowl episode, or, I'll figure it out. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Anybody who is not at the stream and is watching this later on throughout the day is taking a good ass time to sit down and watch my podcast, do whatever. And if you guys do have anything to comment on, comment it right down below. I will get back to it next episode on the podcast, episode 2. Otherwise, guys, Herby out. I hope you guys had a good day. Peace out, guys. Thanks for staying with me. Peace.